I'm not raised like that. I don't go. I'm not going back my mom. I'm not going. So tell your ass mama dig her ass up and post.
50 Cent shared one picture of Tiny Harris and wrecked everything. But what he said next about King Harris, questioning who his actual father is, caught everyone in the industry off guard. And once you learn what's truly been happening in this marriage for years, you'll see why this feud goes much deeper than just a versus matchup. The feud, the background, and the explosive claim 50 made. Look, we have to trace this back to its origins because this isn't something that started in February 2026. This tale has been simmering for almost 2 decades. And the only reason it erupted like it did is because one guy, Curtis James Jackson III, known worldwide as 50 Cent, chose to stop holding back and aimed right for the jugular. The animosity between 50 Cent and T.Y. stretches back to the mid-2000s when both were at the peak of the rap scene. 50 Cent was managing G-Unit like a legitimate enterprise, moving millions of albums and dominating his territory in a manner few artists had achieved. Meanwhile, T.Y., whose full name is Clifford Joseph Harris Jr. from Atlanta, Georgia, was declaring to everyone that he was the king of the South, and frankly, his tracks made it tough to disagree. These were two massive figures in rap, and when you place two like them close together, some sort of conflict is bound to arise. In those initial years, the strain was subtle. Minor digs in interviews occasionally, a bit of rivalry that never escalated to outright conflict. But by 2007 and 2008, it intensified when 50 Cent began highlighting T.Y.'s legal issues and publicly raising the type of query that can haunt someone in hip-hop forever. He was essentially questioning if the King of the South had been cooperating with federal authorities. Here's what really occurred. In October 2007, T.I. was apprehended in Atlanta in a setup orchestrated by the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. He attempted to purchase 3 machine guns and 2 silencers via a bodyguard who was covertly collaborating with the feds. These were grave federal offenses, the sort that could lock someone up for a long stretch. Each count carried a potential 10-year sentence and a $250,000 penalty. So when the judge issued the verdict in March 2009 and T.I. received just 1 year and 1 day, folks in the rap community started calculating. And the figures didn't align for them. 50 Cent wasn't about to ignore that. On G-Unit's 2008 album titled TOS, which means Terminate on Sight, 50 released a song called You So Tough with a lyric that the entire scene noticed. I got the best lawyers money can buy. They said it would have got me 10 or maybe 9. I said, well, how do you explain how homie breathes so to keep your mouth shut or you eat the cheese? You so tough? When folks pressed 50 in interviews on if that lyric targeted T.I., he kept it vague initially. Use real-life situations to create something that's entertaining without being specific. That's entertainment to me. Like if I had an issue, one of you know me to be direct with an issue. Oh, you're pretty direct, right? So if I had a problem with any artist, trust me, they would know. But then he essentially admitted it moments later. Is that line about T.I.? Absolutely, for the public to decide. Now T.I. has consistently maintained he never informed on anyone. He stated everything he did was for himself, that he sought justice for his closest friend, Philante Johnson, who was shot and killed in Cincinnati in 2006. He fulfilled over 1,000 hours of community service, visited 25 different states, and spoke to thousands of youths as part of his court agreement. But in hip-hop, a snitching accusation spreads 10 times quicker than any clarification. Following all that, the feud simmered down for a period. It resurfaced shortly in 2020 when T.I. commented on rapper King Von being killed in Atlanta, remarks that 50 Cent viewed as insensitive to a mourning group. But even then, it didn't fully ignite. That didn't occur until 2026, and it didn't happen until a chat about Versus quickly became deeply personal. In early February 2026, T.I. appeared on the Nightcap podcast with Shannon Sharpe and Chad Johnson and recounted how he and 50 were in Los Angeles collaborating on TV projects. During that period, they supposedly discussed doing a Versus battle to honor each other's work. Per T.I., they agreed. Then when T.I. announced it publicly, 50 acted as if he had no idea what T.I. meant. I said I wanted 50. That what I said? He don't want no smoke, though. Oh, I called my man. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke. It's cool. And on another instance, T.I. elaborated further. We were moving around in LA, man, selling some TV shows and shit while we were around each other, man. You know what I mean? I said, what you think about this? Like, you want to do that? I said, yeah. He was like, all right, cool. So shit, I told him, I'm going to say, well, I'm a jump out there first, and then you just going to jump out there and we'll line it up going on. Then that's what it was about, because now I question your character. Now, most folks would anticipate 50 to reply with a diss track, or at minimum return with some lyrics. Instead, 50 Cent took an entirely different path, one many felt overstepped boundaries. He went on Instagram and uploaded an unflattering image of T.I.'s wife, Tamika Tiny Harris, with a caption essentially instructing T.I. to keep his name out of his mouth. Not an attack on T.I. the artist, not a hit at his discography or his achievements, a strike at his wife. That was the instant things shifted. Because in that moment, 50 Cent didn't merely fuel a rap feud. He dragged a woman into a dispute she wasn't involved in. A woman who'd endured more than most are aware of. And that woman has a 21-year-old son named King who was observing every action on that platform. This wasn't about tunes anymore. This was about kin now. And as you'll discover in the following section, when you target this specific family, you're tugging on a string with a ton of heavy baggage attached to the opposite end. Tiny Harris, the union, the whispers, and the hidden truths. To truly grasp why 50 Cent targeting Tiny struck so deeply and why King Harris responded as he did, you must know who Tamika Tiny Harris really is. And you need to comprehend what that marriage has silently endured behind closed doors for a long time. Many view Tiny as simply T.I.'s spouse, but that's truly undervaluing her. She was prominent in music prior to T.Y. entering the scene. She was born Tamika Diane Cottle on July 14, 1975 in College Park, Georgia, and she rose as a member of the R&B group Xscape in the early 1990s, a group that influenced the sound of that entire era. Beyond performing, she penned songs that other performers built careers upon. She co-wrote No Scrubs for TLC and contributed to tracks for Destiny's Child, amassing a portfolio that most in the music industry would proudly claim as their full legacy. Before T.Y., Tiny's private life was fairly discreet. She was in a relationship with a man named Zonnie Zebo Pullins for roughly 6 years beginning in 1992, and they had a daughter named Zonique, born in 1996, who later became a singer with the group OMG Girls. There's also the anecdote Tiny shared on their reality show about a brief close bond with Tupac Shakur in 1994, which she said nearly became romantic but never did, and Tupac died in 1996, shortly after. Beyond those two, nothing in her past indicates any major controversy. She encountered T.Y. in 2001 via the music world, as Xscape had connections to his label Grand Hustle Records. Initially, Tiny wasn't interested whatsoever. She reportedly rejected T.Y. and no-showed him multiple times before finally giving him a chance. By the mid-2000s, they were fully together, and they wed in a low-key courthouse event in Miami Beach on July 30th, 2010, before festivities in Atlanta and Las Vegas. Together, they had 3 kids, King born in 2004, Major in 2008, and Eris in 2016. They also suffered a stillbirth in 2007. Adding T.Y.'s children from prior relationships and Tiny's daughter Zonique, they raised a blended family of 7 kids. That marriage encountered genuine challenges from the start. Mere months after the nuptials, T.I. was arrested once more on drug charges while on probation and had to serve additional time. Tiny remained by his side throughout. They transformed their experiences into a VH1 reality series called T.I. and Tiny: The Family Hustle, which aired from 2011 to 2017 and allowed the nation to witness their life, including the ups and downs. But privately, cracks were forming. In 2014, T.I. got into a physical altercation with boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. at a Las Vegas eatery after rumors circulated that Mayweather had been overly familiar with Tiny. It was all captured on footage. Both Tiny and Mayweather denied any affair. Mayweather stated he'd known Tiny for years before she met T.I., and Tiny addressed it in a 2018 interview on Candy Coated Nights, saying she didn't physically betray T.I., but she acknowledged Mayweather flirted with her and that she was in a marital phase lacking the attention she required. In her words, "I didn't really cheat. I didn't have any. He flirted with me. Everybody needs a little attention, especially if she ain't getting it." That statement reveals much about the marriage's state then. The largest ordeal hit in December 2016. On December 7th that year, Tiny filed for divorce in Henry County, Georgia, listing irreconcilable differences and seeking primary custody of their children. Court documents verified it was legitimate. She filed again in April 2017 after the initial one failed due to T.I. not being properly notified. When Tiny discussed it later, she was explicit about what drove her there. In a 2019 interview, she described it as a matter of self-respect, noting she'd endured years of infidelity, deception, and mistreatment. By summer 2017, they stepped back from the brink and chose to remain united. T.I. spoke of Tiny as his best friend and said he couldn't discard that. The final season of their show captured how near they came to splitting and what it required to stabilize, and they did stabilize. In 2025, they marked 15 years of marriage with a Thailand getaway, posting yacht videos and captions for one another that showed two individuals who truly battled to stay together and emerged stronger. T.I. labeled her the love of his life, and she noted how much he'd matured in loving her over 24 years. Then in early 2026, they attended the Grammy Awards together, dressed sharply and appearing fully united as a pair. And then 50 Cent uploaded that photo. Now, the rumors that erupted afterward, including 50's insinuation that King Harris might not be T.Y.'s biological child, none stem from confirmed facts or actual records. What research clearly indicates is that King was born in 2004, 3 years into T.Y. and Tiny's relationship, and both parents have always nurtured and acknowledged him as their son. The paternity hint is merely 50 Cent doing what he's always done, identifying the most hurtful thing to hurl at someone and launching it to observe the fallout. Because atop all the marital turmoil, this family faced something far graver than a rap dispute. Beginning in January 2021, over a dozen women accused Yachts T.Y. and Tiny jointly of drugging, sexual assault, detaining against will, and trafficking from 2005 to 2018. The pair refuted every claim, labeling it an orchestrated extortion effort. Their attorney, Steve Sato, termed it a sordid shakedown campaign with no validity. Their VH1 series was halted as the network investigated. The LAPD launched a probe in May 2021, but by September, the Los Angeles County DA declined charges since statutes of limitations expired on older incidents. Georgia yielded nothing either. In January 2024, one accuser, an Air Force veteran using Jane Doe, filed a civil suit under a California law allowing claims past deadlines if cover-ups are proven. T.I. and Tiny sought dismissal. In August 2024, a federal judge tossed the case, though the plaintiff could refile with added specifics. No charges, no convictions. But the stigma lingered, so when 50 Cent chose to post Tiny's photo and turn her into a joke target, he wasn't simply mocking a rapper he feuded with over a Versus deal gone sour, near divorces, cheating claims, and a federal probe. He did it publicly to millions as if it were trivial. That's what triggered the ensuing chaos. And that's precisely why King Harris didn't reply composedly. He lashed out with full force. King Harris enters the fray, the web divides, and 50 Cent erases it all. The moment King Harris spotted that photo of his mom on 50 Cent's Instagram, something snapped in him that wouldn't settle. He's 21 years old and has lived publicly his entire life, raised as the child of two celebrities with constant cameras. He's seen his mom discussed, speculated on, and pulled through rumor mills since he could use a phone. And now the same guy his dad had been trading barbs with for weeks had just displayed her image online as a punchline in a rap spat. What followed wasn't a strategic publicity stunt. It wasn't a polished diss track backed by a record company. King Harris hit Instagram stories and unleashed raw, unedited thoughts that the whole online world saw unfold live. And he ventured to a territory most in hip-hop recognize as an uncrossable boundary. He referenced 50 Cent's deceased mother, Sabrina Jackson, killed in 1983 when 50 was just 8. King stated if 50 wanted to post mom's pictures, he was prepared to post hers. He even posted what appeared to be her gravesite image. I want to say something about my mama, your mama. Your mama. Go dig her up. Go dig her up. Post a picture of your mama. She pay respect? Stop playing with my mama. 50 Cent's reply, true to form, was a Pepe the Frog meme with LOL and a note advising King to mind grown folks' affairs. King didn't back off. On February 23rd, he persisted, labeling 50 an attention chaser running the same antics for nearly 3 decades. He mentioned 50 surviving 9 gunshots in 2000, an incident 50 has woven into his narrative, and claimed surviving that yet behaving as 50 does isn't impressive. He referenced how 50's 2007 album Curtis was outsold by Kanye West's Graduation in one of rap's most discussed release clashes. He shared vintage photos of 50 Cent at a radio spot holding big toys. He targeted 50's son Sire over a joint photo. He tagged Diddy, Rick Ross, Ashanti, and other major figures to amplify visibility. T.I. backed his son fully and escalated on his end. On February 23rd, T.I. dropped a diss track titled The Right One, hitting 50 for boasting big but dodging true contests. Someone who can't retain women due to unresolved grief from losing his mom young. He also teased another track called War, produced by DJ Toomp, slated for his last album Kill the King. T.I. further released a track called What Bully, and linked it to the notorious old photo of 50 Cent appearing extremely skinny and frail during his stark weight loss for the 2011 movie All Things Fall Apart, a photo that had shamed 50 for years. T.I.'s older son Damani jumped in too and put out his own diss record sampling Outkast's classic Ms. Jackson, a choice loaded with intent given the context. Then on February 24th, King Harris released his own diss track called Made Man. A 21-year-old who'd heard Nepo baby accusations his whole life, implying his platform stems only from parents, now faced off directly with one of rap's most seasoned trolls. Through it all, 50 Cent scarcely addressed the music. Instead, he did something more strategic. He promoted his Broadway production, a revival of August Wilson's Joe Turner's Come and Gone, opening April 25th, 2026. With a caption, "Opening night, April 25th, no rappers, no bad BBLs, no little up albino kids, just sold out Broadway." Nearly everyone interpreted the albino kids reference as a jab at one of T.I. and Tiny's children with albinism, a condition impacting skin and hair pigmentation. That post vanished. Most posts tied to this feud eventually disappeared. But the action that truly eroded 50's remaining support was targeting someone unexpected. Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's mom, had reshared a positive video of Tiny Harris as subtle backing, captioning about true feminine energy. Tiny expressed thanks in comments, and 50 Cent replied by posting Tina Knowles' photo with a caption ridiculing grandmas entering beefs. He added a gif of Solange Knowles, Beyoncé's sister, removing earrings, clearly alluding to the infamous 2014 elevator brawl with Jay-Z, and he captioned it as a killer warning. Beyoncé's fans, the Bayhive, attacked him swiftly and fiercely with the intensity only they deliver. The outcry was so intense and rapid that by February 25th, 50 Cent had removed every post related to the dispute. Consider that. The guy who'd never retreated from anyone for over 20 years, who outmaneuvered Ja Rule, Rick Ross, and Diddy in public clashes, silently erased everything and went quiet. The entire ordeal went so viral and massive that police departments reportedly got calls about it, not due to threats, but because folks were so immersed in the saga they thought authorities should be informed. That detail reveals how thoroughly this narrative consumed the web. Online opinions remain evenly divided. One camp argues 50 Cent initiated by involving Tiny in a feud unrelated to her, and King's actions were simply a son defending his mom. Straightforward, no debate. The other camp contends King overreached by targeting the memory of 50's slain mother, and regardless of 50's opener, some topics are off limits. Both views carry substance, and neither is entirely incorrect. What's hard to dispute is the larger context. 50 Cent has employed the same strategy for over 2 decades. He provokes. He trolls. He posts to irritate. Then he awaits the heated reply. The more emotional, the more the web deems him victorious, irrespective of who delivered sharper blows. That approach succeeded against Ja Rule. It worked on Rick Ross. It triumphed over many who let him provoke them. The query this scenario poses is if that formula holds when the responder isn't the initial foe, but a 21-year-old son ready to venture where his dad wouldn't. When 50 Cent aimed at Tiny, he didn't hit a vulnerability in TY's circle as intended. He struck the most guarded individual there. What do you think about this case? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Also, click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.